He gave me a pair of socks and a pair of gloves. Told me all about the minerals. I went, oh, there's no way, can't imagine that. And then I tried it and I called him the next day and I was almost in tears. I said, Sonny, I can't believe it.
So Blue's come down today. He's been wearing Resonance for how long?
About 6 months, I want to say.
6 months, okay. Yeah. So he's coming to pop in and just talk about his experience with Resonance. So today's actually the first time I've met Blue, and I was introduced through Sonny, so he's one of the boys who's on the internship with us. Yeah, so look, Sonny gave you some product.
Yeah, he gave me a pair of socks and a pair of gloves. And when I first tried it, he told me all about the minerals. I went, oh, there's no way, can't imagine that. And then I tried it and I called him the next day and I was almost in tears. I said, Sonny, I can't believe it. I've been to the Nottingham University trial and it was nowhere near close. I mean, I sleep with the socks now because basically when I fall asleep at night, a lot of the time my Tourette's are on the lower half of my body, so within the feet, the legs. And I put the socks on and I can go to sleep so much quicker. And I honestly didn't believe it. I thought it was just a load of nonsense. But when you try it on, it's like the extra 5% does the world of good, especially for those out there with Tourette's.
So I know a little bit about Tourette's. I don't actually know that much. I mean, obviously I understand there's so many forms, and I think even with my father and his Parkinson's, what I've realised, there's so many different variations of Parkinson's, so I'm sure there is with Tourette's.
Yeah, no one with Tourette's has the same type of Tourette's. It's the most subjective neurological disorder I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everyone has it different. But one thing I can say is there's treatments out there like CBT and this, of course, that has proved generically works with amongst many people with Tourette's.
Yeah.
And so I think this is with the socks, because obviously when I had Tourette's, like when I tried the gloves on, I used to have a tic to do this with my hand. But when I put the gloves on, I still felt the urge, but it was like almost like I had more power to control it, more control over it. And I felt more in control of my own body, even without the tic.
Okay, yeah, so, that's interesting. And obviously Tourette's, that's something that people are born with. It's not something is there sometimes
no one really knows, to be honest with you. Some people think it's environmental, some people think it's genetic. I know people who, my godfather, his two daughters have Tourette's now, he has Tourette's. But mine, no one in my family had Tourette's when I was born, so that's the thing about it.
And what would say for you, living with Tourette's has been the most difficult part of it?
I think it's just the exclusion, even if it's, on trains, on buses, even in school when I was at school, you see people looking at you and you try to explain to them, well, you show me your Tourette's card or whatever it is that proves you have Tourette's. But a lot of people just ignore it and still give you the dirt like you're some, nutter. But it's part of life. And I think with this, when I wore this on the trains, I'd wear this every time I go on the train, the socks, to work in the mornings and stuff. You just feel more in control and more calm within yourself, which I think does the world of good. Yeah,
no, it's interesting. So you're definitely the first person since we started Resonance that I know of with Tourette's, and the first sort of feedback that we've had. So it's always, I think it's interesting for me to understand it more, like your journey with it, but also just Tourette's in general. So see when you say over night time, so that's when you said that's when you sort of affected the most?
when my body's sort of still, or it's like when I was in a classroom back in school days when I had to be quiet, that's when my Tourette's seems to exacerbate more. So when I'm in bed at night, before I go to sleep, maybe like half an hour to an hour later, I'm always ticking between my lower half. And then when I put the socks on, even the gloves sometimes, it just, you feel like once I said, the urge is just so much more, you feel more in control about it, you feel more ease with it, more calm about it, which even that little 5% is breathtaking.
And I think obviously helping you sleep is an important thing.
Yeah, massive.
And I'd imagine maybe even tiredness probably plays a role in.
Fatigue is one of the most things that sort of amplify your tics throughout the day. If you can tell with someone who's Tourette's who hasn't slept the night before, hasn't had a good night's sleep, they'll be ticking a lot more. And
then even throughout the day, so you feel like there's, as you said, there's more control in just, you feel the tic coming on, but you just
it's
don't
like
feel
an itch, but without it, it's like an itch, and if you don't do it, you feel like you're gonna burst. But with this, when I feel the urge coming through, I feel more like, oh, I'm in control of this situation. I know what's gonna come, I know how to deal with it. So it felt like when I did CBT, it felt a lot like that.
And what about, obviously you've been wearing the products for how many months now?
5 to 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Do you think that you notice it when you're not wearing it? Do you think there's something that's...
Yeah, usually it's about within 24 hours afterwards, if I was in the wash or something like that and I can't wear it, I notice even when my gloves are on, the gloves are off, my hand tics just go mental, even within 15 or to 20 hours afterwards. And then with the socks, I try and wash them when I'm not there. So when I have them, I can just wear them as much as I can.
And what else would you say, outside of fatigue, which you just said, but what else would you say brings it on, or you feel like brings it on in yourself?
In situations where, almost like taboo situations where everyone has to be quiet and no one can speak, It gets worse because you feel the pressures on you then. But also when you experience extreme emotions like anger or sadness or stress, it comes up more.
How about in positive stuff as well? Does it come up in when you?
When you're happy, it does. It depends how though, because sometimes when I'm really happy, like when I'm playing football, all my bodily functions are taken up, so I don't have time to focus on Tourette's. Like when I act as well. But when I'm really excited about going out for a laugh with my mates later that night, I'm really looking forward to it. Sometimes I'll be twitching like this.
And so what you're saying, so when you're playing sports, obviously where you're fully focused on doing something, the tics don't really happen.
But that's obviously that's what 1 hour a day for, so the socks, having them on, it almost feels like I'm wearing them when I play football, you know what I mean?
And what do you think, so obviously, like I said, this is the first sort of experience we had with someone with Tourette's, and obviously hearing back feedback straight away that there's a difference. And I think from our studies and understanding how resonance is benefiting the nervous system, that would make sense.
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
That could sort of help appease the
because the thing is with Tourette's, no one knows which part of the brain, it's occurred in every part of the brain, the cerebellum, the cerebral cortex, all the parts. So no one can pinpoint where it comes from. But I think with these minerals you've embroidered into the clothing, it's just something has just gone much more like, ooh, take a breath. You know what I mean? More grounded.
Yeah, and I think it's important because, like, for myself, I've in this conversation with you, I've not really ever sat down with someone with Tourette's and spoke about it and understood it. And like I said, with my dad with Parkinson's, there's so many different forms. So I think it's important to understand. And I think hopefully resonance is something that we can help share with people with Tourette's. So just try it. And then get
just
more
give
feedback.
it a go. You've got nothing to lose. I mean, people with Tourette's will understand that there's very few cures out there that can give it 100%, give you 100% impact and it will work and all that stuff. Even CBT doesn't work for a lot of people. So just try it, give it a go, and if it doesn't work, at least then you can tick that off the list. But you can't cross it out if you don't know.
You've got a nice hoodie, isn't it?
And I haven't hardly ticked, have I?
Yeah, you sat there all good. All right, Blue, appreciate you coming down.
Thank you very much, Luke. Appreciate it, man.
Cheers.